Hello everybody and welcome back to another week of post-university Valorant. NECC week 5 here. First Ithaca, or Ithaca, sorry. It looks like we are getting right into things with Icebox here. Right now, Ithaca looking for their first win on the season, 0-2, I believe, while Post sit at 2-1 currently in NECC. You're going to see a really early Sage lock here coming in from Ithaca here, and with a KO hover and a Viper hover, we are going to be seeing a little bit of an older style comp, it looks, from them back when Sage used to be a must pick on Icebox. A lot has changed on the map since then, but still a fairly respectable pick at this level of play. However, on the other side, we're seeing, the Viper locked in. We are seeing Mojo on that Yoru hover again. Dissident will opt for that raise. Generally speaking, Jet usually is the primary duelist for this map, but Raze is perfectly fine. There are some people who like that as well. And we are going to get that Yoru lock in here. Killjoy as well from KeltheKelp, who is filling in this week for Kevin Bittner. And I assume we will get the Sova lock in as the last thing here. And with everything locked in, we are going to be seeing pretty similar comps. I assume we'll probably get like a Jet out of Cactus maybe, or a Jet out of Cactus coming through here. And yeah, pretty similar comps. The only really big difference is Jet, Raze, and Yoru double duelist as the kind of like flashes here on Icebox versus having a Sage. I do like the versatility of the comp from Post a little bit better, just because we have seen what Mojo has been able to do on this Yoru. Keep in mind, Mojo is just 20 kills away from being second on the all-time post-university leaderboard for Valorant. 20 kills behind Johnny Fuego right now. So we will be keeping an eye out for that. And, yeah, we are seeing a hover towards this A site, something that's often hit on the pistol round. But maybe it is a look out mid here. Seeing a look here towards mid. At least the, Viper Molly should, Smoke should be used here. Give some of that space. It is going to cause a walk up here from Mojo, who will be able to get that TP straight through, and now it is going to be more hit towards A here. That Yoru 2P may be coming into play later. Rotate's not fully coming through yet. They are kind of holding ground, have not committed here. Viper wall now up. Utility starting to come through here. And Mojo does manage to find one off of the TP on the other side, and now the entry coming through. Dissident looking, can't find any kills, gonna get taken down by Cactus there, and it's gonna cause an instant pivot coming out here from Post, as, I mean, Mojo's all the way up, and the rotates are coming through pretty late here. Cactus gonna start to walk through now, but Mojo in such a good spot, able to potentially do so much here, but Sage is waiting. Gets taken down regardless, though, as Chris will find Cactus, and everything going the way of Post now in this hectic rotate, and they should get the plant down as well, and it's all going to be down to Mooney here.
30 seconds left.
Let's see.
Spike planted.
1v4. No information given of where anyone is right now, and does find the first kill onto chrisramrz. But now just 48 health, 1v3. They know where you are. Gonna be quite difficult here. And Mojo will find a 4K, so already finding 4 of those 20 kills on the countdown. Big round from Mojo, being able to open up that round with that TP towards B, catching, I believe it was Viper off guard. There. and opening up this round, allowing them to pivot to B and being able to find more space off of the initial distraction towards the A side. And I think it definitely helped having the Yoru clone go with them on A side and like show presence that the Yoru is there before completely faking it out. Now again, we should see a force buy here. Yep, a couple Bulldog Spectres and the Sort as they group up towards A here. They should be just running into classics. Stuff like that. Viper Wall is going to cut off screens and the double blast back in. Dissident finds one. And does know where a couple of them are now. Able to find a second one here. Finding the Eco Frags. Nade also available. Isn't going to burn that quite yet here. And Dissident looking for a third. Isn't quite able to find the kill now. Is going to have to back off here. And, I mean, this retake should be all but impossible here with these classics. Now, though, one kill getting traded back. Dissident going down. But Mojo will get a trade here. And with the low health bars of Sova and Viper here, Mojo will clean up another one, and that will be a fairly clean round coming out here from Puz. They did lose a couple guns here, but they should retain both Bulldogs. They only lost a couple Spectres. I doubt they'll invest more into this round here, but they can do quite a bit of damage with those Bulldogs if they manage to find some fights early on in the round, maybe pick up some guns. It looks like they are just going to be looking for some sort of a mid play here. Again, this Viper or is going to be thrown down in mid, block off Cactus's line of sight for any sort of lurk through here. Oh, I think Cactus might have been able to spot something through the gap here, but absolutely unable to, and they're just walking all the way through here. But it's going to come down to Sage, who is waiting here in the corner, finds that first kill. But will they be aware that there could be more? Is just going to get out of dodge here, and Mojo going to get taken down as well, but a pick over towards the B side as Elle finds one. Viper in such a good spot here. And with Chris going down.
One enemy remaining.
Another beautiful kill. And it's all down to KeltheKelp, who does find another one. Making this round quite expensive, actually. And being able to pick up that Vandal now, I mean, things are going to be quite difficult here. Finds a little bit of damage here, but I assume there won't be another repeat. 42 seconds left. Doesn't know where Killjoy is. Continuously looking worried about the flank here. And now Cactus will be able to close that out. And Ithaca will manage to find that round for themselves. Now Post will be able to buy up into full rifles here. On the other side, we are going to see a Spectre and a Guardian, so a little bit lower buy, some light shields as well. But overall, pretty well off here. And again, we are going to see this Killjoy set up towards this A, and Post looking towards that A site as well. And the Molly is going to get thrown mid here, and now Mojo popping the Yoru ult here. Should get a lot of information that there's no one close sight, but won't be able to spot out that Killjoy utility, so it could be a problem. Does know where Killjoy is now. Looks for a flash, and the flash gets turned. Does manage to find Cactus, but it will get traded out now. And now the utility being taken out as well.
Enemy marked.
Dissident will get marked. We'll have to drop down here. Doesn't want to get sprayed out. Forced to sort of back away, but Elle finds two! And that's going to completely open up the site for them, and they're going to be forced to back off here. The spike now down 2v4. A beautiful shot coming out here. And now they've managed to bring it down to a 2v2. Make that a 2v1. Suddenly everything going the way of Ithaca.
Killed my bot.
And KeltheKelp all alone here. Nicole going down now, finds the first kill and finds the second! The clutch coming through, KeltheKelp filling in and popping off so far. Managing to find that round. And now big lead here for Post. That should break the bank of Ithaca. And yep, just a couple sheriffs and such. So far, things off to a great start here for Post. Being able to just win early gun duels, actually win these executes, has made it quite easy for them to take these sites. Conditioning Ithaca towards mid as well with this Viper Orb being thrown down once again, allowing them to potentially walk through and forcing them to donate too towards mid.
Poison orb emitting.
This is going to be a really early rotate coming out from Ithaca here.
Poison orb emitting.
They seem to be aware that it is probably going to be the B hit. They complete fallback. 3 towards mid, 2 towards B. And that is quite an interesting Viper Wall, and Dissident's going to find that first kill. Mojo finds another, and that should be the free site as Dissident is going forward even further. Trying to get some eco frags here. And does manage to find another before starting to back off here. This Cactus looking for anything with the Sheriff. Stared down by quite a few, and Dissident will find the triple kill here, and Mojo, disrespecting, just TPing straight onto Mooney, finds that kill. And Post should grab that round. 4-1 on the score now. I mean, Mojo having an absolute great game so far. 9 kills to start it off, and I mean, Post are just keeping the pace up right now. It seems like they're the ones playing everything actively, and Ithaca so far is just completely retroactive to whatever they are trying to do. It's allowing Post to control the pace of this game early on. And again, Ithaca just choosing to really play super far back, not looking to actually make any space on defense here. It's going to cause them to just kind of not be able to get any map control, and a beautiful rocket from Dissident will find that early kill, which should give them potentially the site, but they're actually going to be pivoting through mid here. As a lot of people were pulled towards A site, and again, without any map control, they have no way of knowing this, and now the scramble coming through. Ithaca is now here, Post not being able to get to that B site fully.
Time to jump.
Not expecting maybe the Killjoy utility to be on B this round here. Mojo, unable to find that kill, will be forced to TP away, and Dissident on the other side of things though in mid, doing so much work here. Gonna manage to get away as well. And Mojo finds another. And again, finds a way out here, but finally now, chrisramrz gonna get taken down. 2v3.
Last player standing.
I mean, really, nothing you can do here as Dissident will find a 4K. And so far, again, just complete pace control from Post, being able to get that early kill with the rocket and just completely pivot out of A. Again, it's just everywhere on the map. It seems like Ithaca are just playing as far back as possible, which just allows Post to be able to take the space to get these fast rotates unpunished. Just not willing to do anything forward right now on the defensive side. And that's going to be an updraft that maybe Cactus wants back here. Looks like we are looking at a relatively fast A play coming through here. And now a push-up from Cactus is going to be absolutely huge here. This early flank could potentially be really, really big, but does know that the turret's there as well, so maybe has the ability to smoke that off, but isn't going to choose to. Is going to choose to just sit towards mid, and now is going to pivot out before anyone gets there. Did manage to take that turret out, and now Post are going to look towards mid here. They are going to back off from this A site, but I mean, Ithaca has everyone still kind of positioned all over. And Chris doing a little bit of work towards this A site, could get tagged out here, but is going to manage to get away, and Dissident so far pushed up right now. Such a big opportunity is just going to pass without checking for Jet there. You could have seen that from the window potentially, but in such a good spot now. Dissident walks through and finds the first kill. A beautiful lurk there. And now just 30 seconds on the clock, and it looks like it is going to be a B hit now. They are kind of committed to it.
Welcome to my world.
And it really is going to come down to Killjoy here, who's not aware. And the trade, sure, it's found, but the plant
10
should come
seconds
through here. Just 8 seconds left, and with the Viper's pit down, it should be absolutely free here. Chris going to get spotted out. And forced to sort of back off here, but again, 2v4 Viper's pit in play. There's not a whole lot you can do here, and now make that 1v4.
Enemy down. My
Sage will find one before getting taken down. Chris being very patient there, playing his life. Does manage to find that kill, and 6 rounds now for Post. And I'm loving how they're playing this attack side so far. Again, they're just being given all the space in the world, and they're consistently using it. Allowing themselves to take pretty much all the way up to pipes over towards A before potentially pivoting mid. And they're managing to find these lurk timings and actually find their way through the gap of this defense without pretty much any issue so far.
Who's next?
The buys are back to normal again here, and Mojo is going to pop this ult again.
To run!
It's going to allow Sova to potentially get some tags here, but I don't know if any tags got grabbed. Never mind, the Sage didn't. It's going to just get traded out, though. Not sure if the investment is fully worth it, but they do have the site. Did invest 2 ults for that. And now an opposite Sova ult coming out here is Cactus. Does manage to find one, and now Post's going to have to struggle here, especially because Mooney is on this flank. Could be so impactful here. And Elle will take up this first contact here, and Cactus finds a 3rd kill now. Looking to find more, and as the flank comes through from Mooney, it's all going to come down to chrisramrz, who does manage to find 2, but will be taken out. And Ithaca will find their way back into this game. Will find their 2nd round. And I liked the way they played that a lot better. They were willing to be more patient to just play full retake towards A here instead of letting people die on site really before the plants. Again, Post just, I think, committed a little too much in order to get that 1 kill. Mojo losing his life, plus the 2 ultimates. Not really able to actually find the value they're potentially looking for. And in the 4v4 retake, Ithaca were successful here. But again, money should be completely fine here. We are going to be looking more towards a B hit here. And I mean, early rotates are already coming through. This is going to be like a 5v4 on the site early. Seems like everything is committed. This Viper wall, a little bit strange on the angle for it, but I don't hate it. But the nade going to come through should take out that Killjoy ult, I believe. Yep. Defender Killjoy ult taken out now, and with the attacker Killjoy ult, they should be able to maybe get a plant here. But they're going to take so long on it. And Chris is so far pushed up right now. This is very dangerous spot for Chris to be in, and he is going to get taken out here just a little bit too far up. And now we're looking at a 3v4 situation, and the Sage Res is still in play, but the flanker's gone. They can potentially look to run out here. But rotates are already coming through towards this A site, so it might just be better to stay towards B.
Toxin screen down.
Especially with the low health bar of KeltheKelp. And Cactus watching through it. Oh, Dissident also quite a low health bar here. The shot not fully landing, and KeltheKelp will find that kill.
1 enemy remaining.
But a couple trades come through, and a quadra kill here coming out. And that is going to be another round going for Ithaca. And honestly, I mean, they've managed to finally grab a couple rounds back. It's not the worst half if they can grab a few more rounds, maybe 1 or 2 for them. But Post does have an opportunity here with, I mean, a little bit of a low buy. Dissident having the ult, but only having a sheriff otherwise. But if they can potentially grab a couple more rounds, they can put themselves in a good spot going into the next half. Typically, Post has been stronger on the attack half, generally speaking. So we'll have to see how they do on the defender side for Icebox here.
Toxins going up.
Meanwhile,
Toxin screen down.
it's just going to be a full look towards this A site with, I mean, Mojo looking mid and now all the way onto the B site here. But meanwhile, things going to ruin for Post here as they are going to lose 2, only get 1 back. Going to start to pivot away, but Mojo not able to actually sniff out where Mooney is here. This pivot should completely happen, but I mean, they have so much information now, and with that Sage res, it's just so much trouble here for Post. All alone, Mojo is going to have to stay tucked here. Can maybe grab a kill or 2. Oh, this timing will be so important. Cactus so aware that Mojo could be doing this and
30 seconds
is going to go down here. And Elle might be able to actually get this plant off. The Molly not quite hitting. And we'll be able to back off, but with 1 on the flank, it's all going to be down to Elle. 1v4. The round should be over. I don't think that Molly lands either, and Mooney will make sure to close out the round anyways.
We cannot let them unweave our world.
And a 3rd straight round coming out from Ithaca, putting themselves right back into this game.
No
and
charges left.
Post somehow still having buys off of their win streak early on. Dissident still holding on to that ult here as well. Viper's Pit now in play for Ithaca. I'm not sure how they plan on using it. If they want to just kind of put it down the force post to potentially a different site, or if they want to wait and try and use it in the post plant, but not sure the value you actually get off of that. And now Post looking towards kind of a little bit of a slower game plan here. Dissident getting some early information over towards A. And maybe seeing that shoulder there.
Bomb buddy out.
I just felt that maybe someone there. Meanwhile, on the other side of things, though, they are all over towards this B site here. And as the Viper wall comes through, they should be aware that this is a possibility now. And the alarm bot taken out. Surely the nano swarms expected there at this point. And now, I mean, we're seeing full rotates, and there's no Viper's wall anymore. This is a huge issue, but they do get the plant off. And meanwhile, a pick from Dissident over towards mid as well, and Mojo finds one as well. Things falling apart for Ithaca this round, but kill traded back here now. Meanwhile, I mean, Dissident in such a good spot. Blast packed up over
1 enemy remaining.
on tunnel? I forget. But it's just gonna be a 1v4 here now. And Mojo will find that kill. We'll find 3 in the round. We'll already find 15 in the half.
Last
And with
round
one more
in
round
the
to go,
half.
can make that a little bit higher here. Again, 20 kills will get him past Johnny Fuego on 2nd all-time on the post-university leaderboard. I mean, having an absolute monster game so far. Mojo and Dissident, lots of frags early on, being able to just win these gunfights. And I mean, a lot of what's going on now is just a lot of one gunfights, a lot of being able to sort of dictate the pace, but Ithaca has
Enemy kill.
managed to alleviate some of that by getting some sort of map control early on.
I'm back.
Oh, and I love the combo that comes out there, but Dissident's going to get taken out as well as the rocket lands, and now we're looking at a 3v4 situation. Remember, Chris falling early in B main as well, besides that trade. And Mooney with the op, waiting for Mojo.
Toxins going up.
And Post now going to be forced to head towards this A site, but again, spotted out. Rotates should come pretty fast now.
Toxin screen down.
There's already a flank on the way. There's already a look mid. And they should know what's going on now. Keyjoy could even potentially rotate through and help out the A players, but is going to go for the double flank here. As KeltheKelp walking forward, looking for some sort of early pick. Again, these timings
30
just
seconds
so
left.
important. Such low health bars here as well. I think just a couple HP for Elle. Yep, 2. Indeed, and they will let the plant happen, surprisingly enough. And they're going to invest the Sova ult here.
Last player
which is
standing.
quite a lot, and it's just Elle on 2 HP. Will get taken down. Cactus will find a triple kill, and that's going to end the half with a 7-5 lead for Post. And again, not a bad half at all for Post here. Obviously, having that lead is good, but I mean, you'd think the way that things started with that 6-1 advantage,
Switching sides.
that they would have maybe wanted to get a little bit more out of this half here. But I mean, big improvements on the defensive side, able to adjust, able to actually fight for space on the map here, is what is going to net them 5 rounds. Now, on this pistol round, I'll be curious to see if they look for some sort of fast play here. It does look like it's a stack towards B. Maybe we'll just see an early Viper wall, something like that. But meanwhile, I mean, it's just KeltheKelp over here. 2 mid, 2 A. So this would probably put in a retake scenario if they choose to just go fast B.
Placing alarm bot.
And the Killjoy bot will detect early that there is some presence towards B, will force KeltheKelp to back off of the site here, and it does look like it is going to be potentially a 5v5 retake situation, but they're going to fight a little bit for the site, and now Sage, such low health bars. Utility coming through for Post doing so much damage. And now, I mean, everyone's here to fight, so it's a little bit more of a pre-take situation, and
Toxins going up.
everybody's so chunked, but Chris will be the first to go down here, and now they're going to start to just pivot straight out. They're going to leave Jet here, but Dissident has such an opportunity. But meanwhile, a little bit of a creep up there as well, and Dissident does get the spot of the rotate now, though, and it is going to be a dash towards the A site here. But nobody from Post really in position here. Dissident going to be the first one here, but, I mean, all alone could spell some sort of trouble here. Gonna have the nade to stall out a little bit, which is gonna be pretty big here, and manages to find the kill with the boom bot as well, and KeltheKelp gonna push forward, but just 12 HP. Plant now going down here, and Sage is gonna get taken down immediately after here.
There they are.
And it's gonna be the 2v4, and such low health bars everywhere.
Shot down.
But now they're gonna look for the fights here, and it's all gonna come down to Sova here in the 1v2. Trades go back and forth. Does have shock darts available,
Enemy
and
remaining.
manages to find that third with the shock, but Mojo will close it out and give Post another pistol round this game. 2-0 on the pistol rounds.
I'll return.
And now, I mean, Post, again, they should have buys here. They should be able to claim another round and kind of widen that lead once again. I don't really expect heavy buys at all from Ithaca here. We do see that one sheriff invested, maybe able to find a head cap or two and turn something around. But besides that, I mean, it's against Spectres, it's against a Bulldog. Shouldn't be much of a round here. And they are going to be looking a little bit towards this, like, mid-B split. And them, and I mean, with 3 on A from Post, they might be able to take some guns away. But again, that Yoru TP, going to move him all the way over towards B. And with Chris going to mid, they should have all the coverage they need. There is a Viper alert coming through towards A main here that they may have to watch out for. But with Dissident still on the site, shouldn't be too much of a problem here. As Cactus is going to get spotted out, going to get tagged up a little bit, and going to get met by KeltheKelp, but it's going to get a lot of damage and manage to get out. Again, not a kill, but oh, this lurk is so big here. He threw Viper. Dissident not prepared, but finds the kill anyways. The superior gun coming through. And Chris found one as well, which will put them in a 5v3 situation. No spike plant yet. And a couple on the site should be able to deny it.
30 seconds left.
And a beautiful flash coming through here. And only manages to find one. The trade kill coming through. Mooney so good with this classic here. And there are a couple low health bars on the side of Post, so this can get very dangerous very fast here. As Chris goes to swing through, finds that kill, and it's all going to be down to Sova. And Elle will find that one as well. And despite the low health bars, they do manage to keep 4 of their guns going into the next round here. Things once again looking good for Post, able to make that hold. And I mean, things did get a little bit dicey there. Those classics getting a lot of chip damage down, but not quite able to find most of those kills. That is the important part here for Post, was maintaining those guns, being able to bring them into the next round, being able to build that econ up. But now we should see what looks to be a mid play coming through. And again, just that turret to kind of wash that off. They should get the audio that the Viper's orb came through there and be aware that people could walk through. But nothing gonna happen. Meanwhile, Dissident gonna push a little too far up. Gonna get picked off here. Biting off a little more than he could chew. That potentially costly for Post, an attempt to maybe convert this bonus round here. Chris is probably going to be challenged by quite a few here, but the bomb is all the way over towards B, so I'm not sure how far they plan on investing time towards this A site here, but Chris not prepared, and Sage will find that kill. And now, I mean, Killjoy's rotated all the way over, the bomb's all the way over, and with the fight in mid, it was a Vandal given, or a Vandal in hand here. Sorry, they did buy on the round. It wasn't actually given up. Now KeltheKelp gonna have to wait for the rest of the team here. It is gonna be a 3v5 retake situation, and honestly quite difficult here. Again, just a sheriff from Mojo. And I mean, they do manage to find a couple of these early kills here. 2v4, but
last player standing.
I mean, it's all alone. It's all down to KeltheKelp, who will be able to get a little bit of damage, but the drop off of pipes, not expecting it, and Mooney will close out that round there. Again, another expected round coming here from Ithaca. This is the 3rd round, generally speaking. For those of you who don't know, if you win the pistol round, you usually force up to stuff like Spectres. SMG is kind of like a lighter buy, but still some sort of a force up. You end up getting that 2nd round versus the pistols, and then usually those guns get brought over into the 3rd round, which is versus rifles, and you usually lose that round, and then you both play from rifle rounds from there. Now Cactus is going to be pushed up over towards B main here. A little bit of a lurk from this jet. Mojo is waiting. It's going to come down to checking that angle. Does have that TP available as well. For how much longer? The timing is all that matters, and Mojo's going to get taken down, pushing out a little too aggressive here. And again, this Viper so far lurked up, and they're just slowing the pace down consistently.
Toxin screen down.
Being able to kind of find these picks in the round off of it. I like this idea from them, but Elle is going to be able to trade one back here. Going to look for a fight. Gonna back away, and Chris gonna get challenged here. Gonna get taken out. And now it's a complete pivot over towards A, it seems. As Dissident maybe not prepared for Sova to be here. And again, now they're actually starting to walk back towards this A site here. As Sage finds another kill, the plant should come through.
30 seconds left.
And the Molly isn't actually going to find the tag there. So, yep, plant does come through here. KeltheKelp looking for something.
Found them. Alarm bot down.
Not able to find any kills here. And now, in sort of a tight spot here, as Dissident pushes forward and gets taken out as well. And 1v4 for KeltheKelp. Maybe looking to just get some kills, get out maybe. As the round itself feels impossible. Doesn't really know where everybody is. And Mooney will close out that round. And now Post, I mean, again, going to be kind of on lower bias here. Going to give Ithaca a chance to catch back up. And I mean, we're almost seeing a very different offensive look from Ithaca versus Post. Post early on was very aggressive, very high tempo, would take a lot of space and be very loud, and then kind of potentially rotate over depending on what they saw. However, Ithaca being a lot slower paced, a lot more spreading the map, looking kind of for these picks here and being able to work the defenses. Dissident so far pushed up here on this round, and I mean, Mojo's going to take these fights early on. Maybe try to sell a bait here for Dissident. That's going to be so huge here. And Dissident going to get spotted out now, especially by that Killjoy turret, and trying to get out, but unable to get the blast packs away. And I mean, everything going wrong for Post this round. The trap play not going to work here, and should be a pretty free sight take here, but Mojo looking for something. Can't quite land the sheriff shots, and it's all down to just Elle.
Spike planted.
Did get the spot there on Viper, but we'll find that kill. Will be a flawless round. I think our first flawless of the game, actually, for Ithaca. Ooh, now pretty much bounced all the way back here. The money for Post, not necessarily great enough to get them buys, but another loss here would put them back on a save, so very important round here. Meanwhile, on the other side, the economy, very, very good for Ithaca. And again, it's kind of another issue that I don't see a lot of proactivity on the defensive side here. And even when we have had proactivity, and never mind, they are going to go fast out of A, not going to spot anything. And the Killjoy ult going to be used now, and Elle going to be forced to sort of back off here. There is going to be that Sova ult being used by Chris, and unable to find any tags here, and the spike gets planted as well. But now we are seeing a fast double flank here, but they figure out that there's at least one. Not aware of the second one, but they will end up finding that as well. And, I mean, Post maybe just might want to look for a save here, but is going to continue looking to fight into this round. And at this point, I'm not sure if there's much you can do here. Chris is going to get taken down as well. Completely pinched. And another flawless, back-to-back flawlesses coming through for Ithaca.
Stay taut as a bowstring.
Once again,
the
Post money completely gone. Meech is going to call a timeout, seeing the momentum completely shift in Ithaca's favor. And again, I think like there was a proactive play there. They did get that information A, but unable to really do anything with that. The gunfight's not really going the way they want. The fast flank not working out, and I mean, I think it was the right idea to go for that play, but now with the situation they're in, I mean, it's not a with the situation they're in, it's just not a play that they can maybe go for this round, but it's something that they shouldn't be discouraged taking that loss in that round, where they should continue to look to be sort of aggressive on this defensive side, be able to take some sort of space here. Because right now, I mean, they're just getting picked apart across the map. The lurks coming through. Viper consistently lurking towards A. Sometimes seeing a jet lurk B. And I mean, timing's not really going their way in those situations when they've been playing slow. But here, it looks like we are going to see maybe a hero rifle from KeltheKelp here. Maybe not just one rifle, but two here. No, Chris is going to buy back down here. Should just be some sheriffs and a bulldog here and now. An early mid look here as Mojo walks straight down, and the shot not landing. Had the timing, but couldn't quite connect. And now we're seeing a pivot all the way towards B here with that information. Knowing that there was a pick and maybe a stack towards this A site here, and should be pretty free overall. That utility already going to be going down now, and Sova's just been waiting behind for so long. Should be able to spot Elle potentially here, and Cactus will find the kill anyways, and they're both looking to just kind of fight together. Cactus a third kill, make it a fourth on potentially for an ace, but we'll get taken out before the round gets closed out here. And finally taking the lead is Ithaca for the first time this game, and the first team to get to double digits here. I mean, if you're post here, it's such a difficult situation to be in. I mean, all you've really grabbed on this half is that pistol round, that bonus round after. So far, unable to find a defense that works for them in the rifle round here. And again, we're seeing a mid to A stack coming through, but we are seeing 3 early towards A here, and an early orb grabbed as well. Chris gonna be pushed so far up here, looking for the timing, and Cactus, though, will find the kill. Almost finds a second. Elle is gonna have to get out of dodge there, and will get away. Does get that Viper's Pit out of it, but won't really be able to use anything here.
No fuel.
At least not now, and things stalled out a little bit towards this A site, just kind of looking for any sort of potential pick, and once again does spot it out Elle, and they should know. This means the site is probably theirs. A nade coming out from Dissident to maybe stall this plant here.
Okay.
Looking for something. Dissident does manage to find one on top of King, though, and he's going to blast back forward here and land right next to Viper, but unable to really connect these kills or connect the dots there. That Viper's there, and with Viper detained, though, that is going to be the hit dropping here, and a lot of kills going the way of post here as Mojo finds 3, and it's going to be the 2v1 going to have the opportunity here. They hear the drop now. It's going to come down to Mojo here. He can't find that kill, but KeltheKelp finds the kill, will find the defuse, and post will find their first defensive round in a rifle round here and tie the game right back up.
Don't stress if I die. It was great knowing you all. Also, delete my hard drive.
I mean, just a beautiful play from Mojo, and with Mojo now at 21 kills here, that means he is now past Johnny Fuego on that round for post all-time kill leaderboard. Congrats to Mojo there.
Turn out.
KeltheKelp gonna be the only person set up towards this B side here, as this Killjoy assume that retake is being played here. And they are gonna get a lot of early information that it could be some sort of a B hit, that nobody is over towards that early part of A. It is gonna cause some rotates to come through here. Chris now picking up mid here. But again, this is just the early start here, as again, we're going to start to see this lurk coming through, but Post has managed to keep 2 still over towards this A side and 1 person mid. We're hearing a lot of noise towards B here. But again, there's no commit yet, and somehow Viper finding 1, and oh, he's just going to completely get away too. With the full run through there. Wow, a tragedy for post there. I mean, they donated 2 people over towards that A site, and still 1 for 0 there on that lurk. Now the plant coming through, the sage wall up, so not much we found there, and Mojo will manage to snag that 1 kill, but it is going to get traded off here. Again, this Viper, such a thorn in the side of post here. A second kill coming through, and Mojo gonna look to flash forward, gonna find 1. The res coming through as well. And Mojo, this time is going to be so important here. Does manage to find another. And not prepared for jet to the upper there. And now it's all down to KeltheKelp, and that's going to be another round for Ithaca here.
No one will remember them.
I mean, a great try there from Mojo, but unable to make the hero play. Once again, post now on pretty much nothing for bias here, so looking to be 12 rounds, looking to be map point here coming out for Ithaca. But again, we saw a lot of thrifties last week in the games. There might be on pace for another one here, but so far, Ithaca overall playing pretty structured in these anti-ecos. haven't really given much away, and I mean, the Sheriffs really haven't been hitting as much in these games so far, really from either team. Mojo's tempting this idea of peeking through mid here, and we'll just kind of be looking for this cross here, but now with the Viper Orb going down, I think did get one spot there.
Fake teleport.
But they are just aware that Mojo is watching this. Honestly, it could come down to the swing from Elle to see if they can make anything happen here. They're just going to start to walk straight up, though. And while Mojo does manage to spot someone out there, I think did get a tag a little bit too. Cactus is so far up here, and Sage finds Dissident. And yeah, Mojo just unaware as the walk-up comes through, and everything falling apart for Post on this round. As Elle has just a classic Chris as well.
30 seconds left.
In a 2v5,
Spike planted.
And they're still alert.
Last player standing.
There's still a lurk coming through here, so even if Chris manages to work his way through some of these people, he's going to have to be aware of the backstab coming through. And so far, kind of just sitting here, looking to maybe die to the bomb, not give that ult point, I suppose. Maybe find a kill here. But kind of just walking around, and I mean, now the drop should be heard, and yep, Chris is going to get taken out here. And 28 kills on the scoreboard here for Cactus. I mean, having an absolutely insane second half so far. And for Post, I mean, it just feels like they haven't been able to get anything working on defense here. I haven't been able to find any of the gunfights they want to, and I mean, just letting Ithaca pick apart the map. You are starting to see how this kind of like Viper Sova can be used. All the information, all the smokes off to allow them to kind of get through here. But I mean, a lot of these lurks have kind of just been a little bit of raw lurks, like no utility, just walking up. And an interesting Viper spit coming out from Elle here. I usually tend to like it a little bit more forward, kind of in this like main choke and stuff like that, because it allows Cactus to almost just walk all the way through here. And now Chris is in quite a bit of danger if Cactus just chooses to walk all the way through. There's still plenty of plant spots here as well, and I mean, Chris does have to be so careful here. I mean, Cactus just tucked into the side here, and with the Killjoy ult coming through as well, it's gonna force them over into this tight corner, and they should just get taken out here as well. Elle trying to keep the Viper's Pit up here now, and Lockdown does actually get destroyed here, and Mojo gets taken down. Over for the mid here, and another kill coming through, and Elle is now all alone in the pit, swings out of it, finds the kill, but it's instantly going to get traded out here, and Chris can't find the trade back, and it's all going to come down to KeltheKelp, who's still over towards his B site. 1v4, spike down. What can you do? What hero play can you make? I mean, it feels like it's over, but does manage to find one of those kills, now down to just 36 HP. The Viper lurk through mid coming through as well. Gonna get tagged out by the dart. Gonna get that revealed, and does hear that audio, but will be aware of it happening and will not.
Attackers win.
And that is gonna be Ithaca coming through with a beautiful attack side there to start off the series, to go up 1-0 on the series. With that being said, the Mojo kill counter is at 0. Mojo getting 24 kills on that map will manage to break that record, but not all happiness for Post here, as they are going to be down one map in this series, but we will be back in just a moment. We are going to take a short little break between the two maps. Alrighty, everybody. Looks like we are going to be jumping back into this in just a moment. Ready check's kind of just on the way. It does look like Bind is going to be our second map in the series here. Again, for those just joining us now, Ithaca did go up 1-0 on the series on Icebox. Had a beautiful attack half. Had a beautiful end to their defensive half as well. To start down a 6-1 deficit and to be able to pull that game back. And I mean, they did it sort of in convincing fashion by the end. I think they only gave up 3 rounds on the attack side, and won, I believe it was 13-10 on the first map. We'll have to see how Bind is, and it looks like ready checks are coming through here. Post going to be starting on this attacker half of Bind, and generally speaking with Bind, attack side either goes really smoothly or really horribly. Just generally speaking, it seems like the map just feels really easy at times, with being able to take everything, but the map feels kind of very one-dimensional in a way, because of the way it is with no like actual mid. It's kind of just 2 ways into A site, 2 ways into B site. So a lot of times if you can kind of figure out that way through, like early on, and you can actually make your way kind of through those chokes, then it becomes a really easy attack half. And if you can't, it becomes really hard, and there's not a whole lot of ability to really lurk on the map without running into someone or some sort of mistake on the defender side, or really good timing. Does make the map quite tricky, and very snowbally is the big thing. Of course, you do have those TPs to go to the other side of the map very easily, but if someone's anchoring, it can just be absolute disaster if you're not expecting them. Meanwhile, it looks like Chris is going to be hovering Soga on Bind. Not something that we particularly see these days. Definitely something in like early Valorant when Soga was played on everything. But it is going to be the lock-in here. And it looks like Mojo is going to be hovering that Yoru as well. KeltheKelp going to be switching over to Cypher here. Still playing that Sentinel role. Cypher, generally speaking, is the favored Sentinel on Bind. Dissident going to go with Raze again. Absolutely makes sense. Again, the favored duelist on this map. Brimstone going to be locked by Elle as well. Just relatively common picks, and Mojo is going to lock in that Breach instead of the Yoru. So a little bit surprising, but maybe they feel the need to kind of have that utility. Again, Post very commonly end up playing Breach in their comps, at least before. It used to be Dissident on that Breach. But with some roster changes, they've kind of struggled to find that place for that Breach now. However, it does look like they are going to roll with it with Mojo on it. Meanwhile, on the other side, again, the Sage being played as well. Again, another map that can sort of fit in that Sage, not necessarily like meta, at least at the higher levels of play, but an agent that's always particularly good in collegiate level and like ranked level and stuff like that. You're not going to really see it on this map as much in pro play, but do get it every now and then. But Sage, again, that heal can be very useful, the wall can be very useful, and clearly Sage quite comfortable with this character. The KO coming through, I think, is a little bit interesting here of a pick on Bind, but that knife can be so good at dismantling Cypher's setup towards B, especially because it covers so much of that site. I do really like the pick here. And now early on, we are going to see a Showers play coming from Post here, as to going to look to maybe get this orb early. And again, Ithaca playing so far back on their defense here that it is just going to be free orb given, something that maybe Post can look to continuously farm. Yep, both orbs should get taken now. And early cards coming through, and Dissident, beautiful kill onto Cactus there. And again, I mean, there's no necessary commit here, but Chris going to be blocked off by this sage wall here is going to make it difficult to actually
Right
look
here.
for anything here. But that wall is breaking very, very soon, and now Viper should be aware of that, should get that audio. With Post slowing things down, it's pretty uncertain what's going on here. Oh, and I love the nade combined with the concuss there coming through to find that kill, and that's going to be huge. That's going to force the rotates over from A, and now the double TP coming through, and really just Mooney here off-site,
Toxins going up.
sneaking into lamps.
Toxins.
Gonna look for this fight onto Elle here, and
Planted.
shots going wide from both sides here, and now Dissident will find a
player
third kill there. Chris will get a fourth for Post, and it's all gonna come down to KO here. Guhaku gonna get flashed out here, not gonna be able to flick the flash, and Mojo will take that kill. We'll get Post the flawless round here. I mean, that was a lot more structured from Post. Something that was a little bit slower, which is not necessarily their style that they like to play a lot of the times. But I love the concuss with the nade towards back sight, just catching out that Cypher on the cam, unable to move. Worked out very beautifully for them, and with those couple of picks, it forced rotates from the B side. Again, now we see a few guns being forced into here, and Elle gonna get a lot of damage there. And Mooney gonna actually be allowed to hop away here. Did get poked out quite a bit, but Sage should have that heal if Mooney can get to them. And Elle not aware that the cross actually happened here, and again we're seeing this breach and Raze be super far pushed up here. I believe we're now looking at someone who is set up, or safer that is set up more in the tube now, instead of being vulnerable to back sight here, which again does come with a trade of its own here. And now Chris and Elle gonna be pushed up here. Gonna get jump spotted out here as well too, so they are aware that a TP could end up happening. But I think with that response here, this is gonna be forced to back off as he does take a lot of damage. But Kelp on the other side managed to find that first initial pick onto B, and such an important one. Cypher going down means there's no more trips. It means the plant can come through here. And now little cat and mouse on the A side, as well as Cactus is gonna get flashed out a couple times, teammate and opponent as well. And I mean, with the advantage guns, it should be pretty free for Toast here. But these classics, oh, so dangerous sometimes, but not this time, as we are starting to see some sort of attempt to work this site now. But Guhaku running out of space, running out of places to move, ways to live, gonna get taken down, and it's all down to just Mooney here, who does just have this classic, is looking to take maybe some sort of gun away, and Chris will deny him. We'll take them out. And that's going to be another beautiful round here coming out from Post. I think back-to-back flawlesses to start this off. Yep, absolutely no kills given over. 3 kills for Chris, 3 kills for Dissident, and 3 kills for Mojo on the board right now. And so far, just beautiful play coming out here from Post. Looking really, really well drilled on this map so far. Looks like they do have some sort of game plan going into this, and they look way more comfortable having this breach back in the comp again. Being able to kind of use that. Sage should get challenged alone here. Does get revealed as well. Is going to choose to wall it off. We'll just kind of give over that orb. But on the other side, I mean, I guess a KO flash probably came through here, and a double swing out, and they just completely destroy Post in the early round here. That, but now KeltheKelp does manage to find one, isn't ready for the second swing there.
A.
Loses that duel. Now it's come down to a little bit of a fight
One
here, and
enemy
now
remaining.
Mooney maybe not prepared, but finds the second one as well. Beautiful shooting there, and they'll claim that round. A beautiful start for them. I mean, choosing to fight be long instead of just kind of playing back, changing up that sort of pace, finding those early kills, put Post in kind of a pressure situation there. And while some trades did kind of come through over towards short with the numbers advantage, it was very easy for Ithaca to kind of claim that round. And yeah, a little bit of damage done, but nothing too bad. coming through here. And once again, I think they are just looking to give up. Orbs coming through here, but the wall not quite invested yet. Just getting invested now, and again, that should be another free orb farm. KO knife used as well, and I mean, it's just more orbs farmed. This ult economy for post probably in such a great spot here. I think a couple ults maybe close to coming up here, at least farmed a little bit, but it is quite spread out in how their kills are and how their orbs are farmed, so nothing fully online yet, but those ults should be coming up soon. Should be coming up faster in these rounds. And Sage going to be quite close here. As post again, testing waters over towards short here. Just 50 seconds in the round though, and really not a lot of progress made on the map here. It's all going to come down to little timings. And Dissident finds that first kill towards B. Will that commit rotates though? I don't think so.
30 seconds
Sage
left.
will continue to sit right outside. Here, Mooney will get flashed off. And Sage has an opportunity and showers here potentially for Dissident. But Dissident finds the kill, and on the other side, Sage got traded as well. So
Spike
just
planted.
a perfect take here from Post. And now it's down to just Cactus and Kohaku, who I think are just going to look to save these guns here. Not expecting really much out of this round now. 2v5 with the plant down. Yeah, they are just going to go all the way over towards this B. Potentially even look to TP if things get a little bit dicey, but looks like they're just going to sit here. Nothing will happen, but yeah, back on the ult economy thing. Mojo just 2 away now. Elle just 2 away. 1 for Dissident. A few for Chris. And 1 for KeltheKelp. So all of those on the verge of coming online here. Meanwhile, on the other side, the only thing really even close is that Cypher ult. Besides that, everything about halfway at best. So within the next 2 rounds or so, we could see a couple rounds taken simply off of ult advantage coming out here from post. I mean, so far they've managed to figure things out. They've played it quite slow overall in the pacing, managing to use these TPs effectively to get these picks, and really that's what it's come down to. And I don't like Sage just consistently walling off showers here. I think it just gives too much space for them to grab ult orbs to get that ult on here. And meanwhile, Kohaku going to be forced to back off here. And they should give that orb up as well. And they'll manage to find a pick though, so that is going to be really important here. Dissident does get this ult online now, as well as the Brimstone ult being online for Elle here. They are down 1, and they don't really have maybe the map control that they would like to have early on towards short and sands. And now as they group here, it feels like it's something that's a little hard for them to push now. But they're just going to be completely giving up any shot at B here, it looks like, as Dissident starts to rotate over. And does manage to find that pick, so maybe that changes
30 seconds left
here. Again, there's still this ult from the Brimstone that could be so impactful here, especially if it gets used towards U-Haul here, but it is just going to be an absolute pivot over towards B site. And I love this with 13 seconds left. They're going to get the plant to come through, and
10 seconds
Chris is
left.
still on this lurk here. Maybe goes a little bit too early here, and Mooney will find that pick for free. And again, Dissident did invest that ult early on.
I know exactly where you are.
And now, I mean, KeltheKelp finds 2 before going down there on the TPs. And the multi-TP strategy maybe not working out the best for them right now, but Elle gonna challenge Cactus, and it's all gonna come down to Dissident now, who does find that first kill and make that a 3rd! A beautiful clutch, getting the 180, being prepared for Cactus there. And things getting a little dicey for Post there. Maybe a couple overcommits. And using a lot of that ult utility that I don't know if they needed to use it in those exact situations, and they're going to burn through that, but a round is a round, and a 4-1 start is a 4-1 start. For Dissident, though, having an absolute pop-off game here. 8-1 so far. They do still have Mojo's ult coming up very, very soon here, and it does look like they're going to choose to try and farm that over towards Showers here, but that's how things are going, and the fight out Showers will build the way of Post, but actually even trades here, which is really big, especially with that opportunity there. The Sheriff doing so much work, and now they're Post in a very dangerous situation. Down number, Sage recovering a gun as well, and
Satchel out.
Dissident now gonna look forward through. Blast pack maybe a little wonky there. Flicks the flash though. Will get taken out regardless, and beautiful work with the Sheriff from Gohaku. And an absolutely devastating thrifty for Post here. But for Ithaca, maybe some signs of life now. If you recall in the first map, it was a 6-1 start here for Post. And they let that slip out of their hands here, so Ithaca very much used to making these comebacks if needed. We'll have to see what happens here. I mean, money's still good enough for Post here to buy. And yep, we are going to get the early Viper's Pit coming out from Mooney here. Pushed super far up, but again, it's just going to be a free Shower Orb. They're just going to be allowed to keep farming the Ulticon. Keep making something out of this. Just double checking to make sure that nobody is sitting over towards that other side of the wall there. And Dissident found a pick on the other side of the map here, so now they could pivot towards B. It is likely what is going to happen here. And despite having the Viper's Pit there, Ithaca's actually going to have 3 people over towards A, just starting their rotates now. As Post look to commit towards this B site now. To get that trip kill. Oh, and the walk from Elle could be so big here. Going to be so important. But meanwhile, on the other side of things, Sage is going to find that kill onto Dissident here. And they will get the site, they will get the plant. They're going to give up that attempt to kill the Viper in the pit. And the plant coming down a little bit slow here, so going to give a few extra seconds of time. And Cactus in such a good spot here in Elbow. This fight is going to be so important. Just waiting. And Chris on the other side does manage to find one of the kills, and Cactus will get a trade now, and everyone from Post identified now. Mojo looks for some sort of fight here. Things so difficult for him on site. Gonna get taken out now, and it's gonna come down to just Chris and Elle here. Make that just Chris alone in the 1v2. Time ticking down. Does manage to find the kill on the diffuser though, and lives! And Cactus isn't gonna have time! Beautiful from Chris to be able to kill the planter there. And somehow avoid that raise rocket. Wow. I mean, it wasn't pretty, but another round there for Post. Gonna put them at 5-2. And a really good priority for Chris there, being able to kill that planter. Playing patiently to kind of avoid that raise rocket. Maybe Raze should have thrown it a little bit earlier into hookah, but didn't really fully know where Chris was, I believe. Or like how far into hookah he was just close up or not, but Chris playing that immaculately does net them the round there. And again, it's going to be another Showers fight here. And Chris going to swing through this time and find that kill. And again, they love fighting Showers on these kind of low buy rounds. As 3 usually in Elle. Gonna be safe to grab this orb, I think. Here and now, it looks like Post are pivoting all the way over to A with this information, knowing that 2 died there. Now able to grab that orb, and again, I love this orb farming coming out here from Post. Just giving them complete control, having these high impact ults, especially with the ults being raised and how much orbs they take. being able to get...
I know exactly.
And Elle will find another pick here, and again, it's going to be another Cypher ult coming through, this time determining where everyone in Ithaca is, and going to be a pretty free round here. It does manage to get another pick, but Post will go up to 6 rounds here. And yeah, like with a lot of the ults in Valorant over the past couple months have gone up in cost, being able to get these orbs allows you to sometimes have halves where you can get like 3 or 4 ults off instead of like 2 or 3, or I mean depending on the type of the amount of orbs for an ult. Sometimes you only get 1 off and a half now, especially with something like a Viper or a Breach that have these 9-point ultimates. And Mooney gonna be playing really far up close with the shorty, and just a shorty. I mean, it's relatively low buys. Again, they did invest some stingers and stuff into the last round I saw, but
Poison's off.
not really having the econ to do much here. And doesn't get spotted out by that Boombot is so important.
Prepare for hellfire.
And can do so much with the shorty, but misses! It's gonna get taken down, and eventually the Raze nade will end up finding that kill there, but Chris gonna be all the way pushed out now. Looking for an opportunity, does spot Cactus, and a little bit of a whiff there, but does manage to finally land that kill. And 17 HP on stage here with the Spectre. I mean, not a lot in the gun department here. The Guardian gets a Vandal and a Spectre, but
One suppressed.
Post having site control is so big here. No way to rake a lot of value from much here, but that KO flash is going to be so beautiful. They are going to invest the ult now here as well, and another kill comes their way, and Mojo a little bit trapped here. Does manage to find 1. And Chris will back up Mojo there, and wow. A beautiful Hunter's Fury coming out from Chris to back up Mojo on the site. Saving him from the first and then finding a kill onto the second. And beautiful play coming out from Post there. I mean, Mojo even flashed, managing to find that, and oh, tech pause now going to be coming through, so it should just be a moment. But I love that Hunter's Fury from Chris, kind of far back. Did manage to kill, I want to say it was Cypher. Yeah, with the first part of the ult, and then enough damage down onto Sage to be able to finish that one off as well. So just working out, I mean, really well for them. A little bit of a dangerous situation again, because if that Hunter's Fury didn't connect there, Chris is so far back. And, I mean, Mojo, without the Hunter's Fury connecting, has no support there and is playing basically on site 1v3 alone. But, I mean, things connecting for them, so a big round from them. And while a lot of people don't tend to play Bind, or don't tend to play Sova on Bind, this is something that Chris has played a lot before for them in the past. It's something that he seems comfortable on. He's somewhat particular about the Sova maps that we do tend to find him on, where they don't necessarily tend to be the most like common ones in particular. Not as much of a fan of playing Sova on Breeze, for example. A lot of times it went to like Kevin Bittner. A lot of times that we'd see the Sova from other players instead. But Bind, one of those maps that does seem to work out here, and it looks like we're just waiting on someone to reconnect here. Looks like it is just going to be Elle coming back shortly. And I think we did see the reconnect thing, so should be pretty quickly here. That being said, Econ not the greatest here for Ithaca. Again, another loss should put them down to somewhat lower buys again. Ult Econ wise, they do have that Sage res that they haven't really been able to find a lot of value in so far. People not dying in spots that are really restable, or being able to make value off of that. And then on the other side, the Raze rocket back up. I mean, the Breach ult almost cycled through again, 5 out of 9. Still needs a little bit more for that, but we should be able to get one more of those in the half. Cactus also on pace to get another Raze rocket. The Cypher ult from Ithaca's team also on its way up here, so things looking a little bit evenish towards the ult econ side of things, but again, Post do have a lot of cushion rounds here, but I think based off of last game, they're going to look to push as much of that as they can, not want to take their foot off the gas or give any chance of a momentum swing. We are seeing a little bit of a normal the KO Cypher over towards A. Nothing really changed much about this. A little surprised to see the Sage playing so far back, but again, maybe it's just a pause. People just kind of fooling around. But generally speaking, again, that Sage has just been walling showers. I'd like to see that wall maybe placed differently somewhere else. Maybe something like short, potentially. Trying to get, like, that space. And then maybe, like, looking to fight showers a little bit. Despite that not being the most successful so far for them. Or even having, like, some of the Viper Wall stuff. Yeah, the Viper Wall actually a little bit off here from them as well. I know there's a Viper Wall that you can do from like hookah that goes through the TP that cuts through and would give them some semblance of showers control, right? They would be able to potentially like TP through, have that safety wall, and actually like fight out showers here. So I'm surprised we don't see something like that. Instead, just choosing to only block off those the hookah and long parts of the map. A little bit confusing. Maybe doesn't know the tech, but such an important wall on this map that allows the defenders to play for kind of the control of the extremities, right, of long and showers. And it looks like we are readied up now. And the unpause is happening, and we are getting into the round here. And it looks like they are just going to sit and hold for this tap here. That is going to come through. And, yep, a slow and the nade. Going to get a little bit of damage, but maybe not the success that they particularly wanted here. As again, tempting fate here. They will get this orb with very little trouble at all. And this time, though, Dissident gonna peek through and not find a pick. Pretty much one of the first times that has gone the way of KO here. And the flash from Mojo does manage to find that kill. Does take a little bit of damage there. And Cactus in such an important spot here. Should get spotted out by that, and now we'll have to take the fight. Does manage to go 1-for-1 here, giving the team a little bit of hope now. But 2v3, a lot of space to make up for, a lot of ground to cover, and Elle will find a third kill in the round, and now it's all just down to Cypher here, who is tagged out, is spotted out. 1v3. Trying to take fights here, and Mojo will close out that round.
They think they're better than us. I can tell.
And now for Post, I mean, 8 rounds, still 2 on the table so far. Absolutely immaculate, coming out with an even stronger start than last game.
Right there.
Basically saying if you can pull off a comeback from a 6-1 disadvantage, they'll just push the lead in the first half even further. And now we are going to see the KO come here to help fight out this, and it should be a flash here. Desperate to kind of stop this from happening, and this flash is going to be beautiful, and it's going to find the 2 kills. This time, same simple play from Post. Not going to work out for them. And now, it's going to actually just be a site take, though, because Sage dying back turned on the B site on a rotate there. Combined with Cypher going down immediately after, just puts it back in a little bit advantage towards Post, actually, based on the health bars here. I think was running back to maybe give, like, the res or something like that, but you have to be expecting maybe a B hit the way that Post has been playing, how slow and spread out they've been playing. Now going to be forced into this retake situation, and Cactus going to push through here, and Should get taken out by a Raise Rocket. Never mind. Mooney will get taken out instead, and Cactus will push forward, get taken down by Dissident, and KeltheKelp will close out the round and net them their 9th round on the half.
Last round before
Double
the
digits
switch.
on the table here. And the bank a little bit short of a buy here for Ithaca. There are going to be probably some Spectres or Guardians or Bulldogs or whatever they can afford. Spectre, a Judge, 3 rifles, a lot of light shields. Maybe not all the utility that they want. And this time, Post's going to come full force towards the showers here. Now that it got contested, now that it got flashed. This time, a stun coming through. Gonna force the flash through. Gonna force a back off here. But Cactus on the other side getting very aggressive here, but maybe a little too aggressive as Mojo will find that kill. And Viper turning.
Too suppressed.
Worried about someone from behind, maybe, I guess, but it's going to get taken down as well and kind of give over another free life. And again, things going the way of Post, but will another flank be expected? Mojo so aware somehow of what could be happening here and finds that kill, a 3rd kill for Mojo, doing it all himself this round. This fast pivot to B should be greeted by a safer trip here, and can't actually get the pop on that, so that's going to be really big. But does manage to get the safety here, does still have the tag on him. Should remove that. Yep, does get down to remove that. Does have the ult in play as well, and with the last round,
One enemy
surprised we're not seeing it used here, but
Quit your tiptoeing.
Mojo just hidden, apparently. Unable to be seen there, and gets the 4K on the round. KO not clearing that close angle. I'm not quite sure how that happened, but here we are with Post at double digits already. A 10-2 looking dominant on this attack side, and it's kind of like I talked about before going into the game, where it tends to be very snowbally attack sides, where you either have it figured out or you don't. And there doesn't tend to be a lot of adaptation that comes through. And I mean, the way they were playing, they were just getting control of the orbs very easily. They were winning those early gunfights, and it made it really easy for them to consistently find rounds. And it felt like even when Ithaca would do something good, there'd be some sort of something that would happen that would just flip the play on its head. So now we see them looking over towards this B side really early here. They're invest the KO knife. Also very, very early onto the B site, which is a little bit surprising knowing that Cypher normally plays here. You kind of want to get rid of those trips, but isn't going to opt to do so.
Grenade!
And now they're all going to be forced away, but I think Sage is going to go down to the nade.
Boom!
Getting caught out there. A beautiful setup with that Cypher cam there. And now looking to break the trip potentially, and the fight comes through, and Dissident will win that as well, but now they are going to look to kind of pour out of long here. Maybe a TP coming through now with that nade. As Dissident just absolutely going off a triple kill right now. And that is 1 TP, but the other one hasn't come through yet, and we'll have to see if they're aware of that as Chris takes that.
Down A.
Takes down Cactus on the TP, but Mooney just managed to find one more off of that cheeky angle before going down. And Post will bring themselves to 11. We'll now have a bye going to this, and I'm curious if we'll see Ithaca force up into this round, try to contest with Stingers maybe, but I think it's a little bit harder to do when you're on the attack side here. Or when you're on the defense, you can kind of gamble somewhere. You can make the Stingers kind of do their work on those close angles, but you don't get to choose your angles as much when playing on the attack side. You kind of just have to clear things. If the defenders choose to play the long angles, you kind of have to fight them on it, but here for Ithaca, they aren't going to force up. They are just going to be on pistol here, and again, Post looking to contest showers regardless of the side here. Do get the push through, and maybe a little bit too much of a push from Chris here. We'll have to see. But there's no for showers here, and Mojo gonna be contested by 5 here. It might just be some sort of a free plant here coming through with the Sage Wall. But there is no Sage Wall actually to invest here, and Chris will find that first kill, and Mojo will find another, and they're slowly getting picked apart here, it seems. But the plant actually
planted.
somehow manages to come through. Cypher somehow gets away as well. Not sure how that happened, but kill somehow getting bounced back into the favor of Ithaca there.
Satchel out.
But
One enemy remaining.
just one person left alive. They didn't have the guns for this round. It was a good execution overall, but Cactus won't be able to find that flank on that kill. Will get taken out. And now Post will find their way all the way to 12 rounds this early on, having a chance to close it out. Having 10 chances to
Match
close out
point.
this second map. And now, I don't think we'll see much of an invest here from Post. Yeah, they'll take it slow. Probably take the loss on this round. Not looking necessarily to close it out here. And just trying to make sure that their econ is stable enough that they don't
Launching smoke.
sort of get into any sort of rut like that. And again, the showers push going to come through. Elle and Chris doing such a good job working together this game to be able to find a lot of play in shower on both sides of the map so far, despite the little sample size on defense. And I'm liking what Post has to offer on this map. They seem drilled on it. They seem prepared going into this. And now, Cactus gonna be face down with 2 and gonna find both! 32 HP, and that's gonna cause some instant TPs coming through. The heal coming through for Cactus, though. Mojo tested here. We'll go for the flash. Won't be able to find the first kill. Finally finds it now. Might actually be able to claim 2 here, but Cactus, with the movement, with the schmovement, manages to find that kill, dodging those sheriff bullets.
There.
Dissident.
Satchel out.
Gonna look to satchel out
Satchel
here.
out.
Not gonna find anybody. Kind of expecting someone to bench. And there was nobody to be found, and now fighting together are the 2 players from Post here, looking to maybe steal some guns away. Find some sort of fight here. Does manage to find Cactus here, but it's just down to KeltheKelp, and that will be the 3rd round coming through for Ithaca. Again, it was a round for Post that it was a very low investment. They wanted to make sure their econ was up for the next round. And again, 9 rounds. It would have to be back to back to back in order for Ithaca to get back into this game. And just 1 round needed from Post here.
Oh, this is a nice spot.
Ooh, I'm not a biggest fan of that. Yep, the cam does get pulled back there. Cam's a little bit obvious. KeltheKelp actually going to look for an early cam kind of coming out here, but I think it will get shot out, and it doesn't actually. And now, once again, we're seeing a fight with showers, and 2 kills the way of Ithaca here. Suppose struggle a little bit for maybe fighting a little too heavy for the showers control. Maybe you don't need those orbs, but
Spike down, B.
KeltheKelp and Dissident will combine for 2 there, and Mojo now has an opportunity, finds another. It's going to make it a 2v2.
1 enemy remaining.
Make that a 2v1 as Dissident finds another kill, and they have the spike. Mojo having no clue where Cactus is, though. Oh, this timing.
Remaining.
No chance at all. It's going to come down to Raze versus Raze, both having ult as well. Dissident so prepared for this. And Dissident will close out map 2.
Defenders win.
Triple
like
kill,
victory.
23 kills on the table as well. And I mean, that was just beautiful from Post there. What a way to come back from that. I mean, often it's difficult when you have a lead in a game and you throw it. It can be very tilting. And it shows a lot of mental resilience for them to actually be able to play like that going into the second game, to kind of just wipe that first game from their head. And be able to make plays. Dissident, 23 kills there, but really it was just Post being super drilled together. I loved the shower orb takes coming from Chris and Elle, kind of combining, occasionally Mojo or Dissident being there as well to help that out when they thought it was going to get fought. And I mean, overall, just a really good game plan going into that game, really well-drilled plays, and a lot of good utility used together. We are going to cut to another break here before we get into the next game here, as some players are going to be restarting PCs, taking a little 5-minute break between games. So we will be right back. Alrighty, welcome back, everybody. It looks like everyone has done their PC restarts of who needed to, and everyone is back in the lobby. It is going to be split for the Decider map here, and it looks like it is going to be an attack side start yet again for Post here, as the series is tied up. And I think we should be getting into the game shortly. I think ready check should come through pretty soon. And again, I mean, both of these games early on, absolutely Post favored. The first one did end up getting away from them, especially towards the end of the first half, and towards the and then obviously they couldn't really find anything in the second half. But last game, I mean, absolutely came together. Beautiful play, closing that game out. I think it was 13-3 was the final score, with a lot of momentum going into this final map here. Curious what kind of comp we will see coming out from Split again. Last time we saw a double duelist. We saw Chris on the Jet, and Dissident on Raze, I believe, and then I think don't remember what else was actually in the comp there for them. I know there was the Cypher, an Omen, and I don't remember what the final piece was for them, but I believe it was some sort of flashes. We didn't end up seeing them actually end up taking the map, but they did look good on the attack side. They were able to force their way through. So seeing them start again on attack, being able to potentially build momentum for the third time in the series will be quite interesting for them, and we'll have to see if they can hold their defense together. So far, I believe they are 4 for 4 on pistol rounds so far. Because I know they went 2-0 in the first game, and then I believe in the second game, they did start off with a lead, that opening pistol, and then going to the second game, or second half of that last game, they did also win that pistol. So 4-0 so far on pistols. Definitely doing quite a bit of work there, being able to gather. I mean, if you go 2-0 on pistols in a game, generally speaking, you're getting 4 rounds for free, which is such a big advantage, because it means from there, like, you only need 9 rounds. And yep, we are going to be going right into this game here, and instantly we're seeing a Cypher hover coming through here, and it looks like, yep, that Raze hover as well. On the other side, a little bit of a flip through here. An ISO hover would be quite spicy. Not really sure how good that agent is in a competitive setting. Kind of a little bit of a ranked warrior, and it looks like it was just a hover for fun. Again, I think ISO is one of those agents that, like, you really have to know better than you should have to know it in order to make it actually have that value. And by the looks of it, I don't think they have anybody that's that confident on ISO to specifically be playing it on Split. I feel like we would have maybe seen it earlier in the series if that was the case. Meanwhile, though, Chris is going to opt for KO here, so we aren't going to see that Jet coming through. We are going to see Elle on the Omen here. It looks like they might be running KO and Sky together. A double flash comp here. I would almost rather see something like a Gecko here, being able to get, like, maybe some early plants, take that space, especially in these double initiators, and with Sky being a very nerfed version. Again, still pretty good on this map, but I would like to see something like a Gecko if we're going to run the double initiator here. However, is going to be KO Sky locked in. Even a Breach also. I think this is probably not my favorite combination of 2 initiators to be running on this map, but I guess you can take away potentially what they were probably expecting to be Cypher utility on those B hits, or even taking the Viper utility down as well. But it will be Killjoy, which is a little bit of a surprise to see on this map. On the other side, double smokes, which is fairly common. The Sky and the Jet aren't super uncommon either. A relatively standard comp outside the Killjoy for Ithaca. But meanwhile, Post cooking something a little bit different here with this KO Sky. We'll have to see how they do here. Maybe they just attempt to play fast mid is what it kind of looks like. And again, we're not actually seeing the Sage here at all. The Killjoy player will be the same player who was on Sage before, name hidden, so I can't really tell. But now Chris early peek into B main. We'll spot that it's uncontested here, and it does look like this is going to gravitate a little bit towards the mid. That Killjoy turret getting some sort of information that there is some sort of something B main, but as that dog comes through, we'll get information of the Heaven player as well, and it does look like it is just going to be a fight towards mid here. They know there's two here now, so maybe they just completely back away from this, but Kelp wants a little bit more action. Dissident wants to play through here, and Dissident will find one in vent sneaking across, and now the blind will force Sky away here, and all the space in the world, but again, Post this early aggression, this early space taking, but not committing to anything here. But Mojo finding a kill on the lurk here. Now it is just going to be a pivot towards this A site here, but there are two waiting here, and I'll be very curious to see if they are ready for this. Mooney having such an opportunity there, does find one, gets traded out though. 4v2. Spike should get planted pretty safe here, and Chris gonna be a second layer here. Gotta go through vents though,
Spike
so
planted.
Depending on the timing here, might not be as much of a backstab. And Dissident is gonna go down here, and with another kill going through this round, suddenly getting a lot more dangerous in this 2v2. And I think the big thing is Kelp is going to be all alone right now on this site here, but Chris having an opportunity does manage to find that first kill there. And Kelp will close it out.
Time for a break.
And beautiful crossfire being played by Chris. Heaven not even checked. I think they thought they had enough information on Heaven based off of the kill onto Mojo there that was over towards ramps. And Chris not actually helping with that because he was in vents at the time, but a little bit of that backstab play coming through now, that second layer, so to speak. And now their fifth pistol round taken. They got 4 Spectres, they got a Bulldog, and they should be looking for more of a fast play, I believe. Again, gonna get this mid control and go for this kind of early B split type thing. Pushing up mid, Viper in such a good spot here, but will they get checked? Right, and yep, it is just going to be the spray through. I don't even know if there was anything actually seen there, and Chris now pushing through, going to find that kill, but just 15 health. A little bit dangerous now, but the bomb is out towards the mid right now, so they may not be in the best position for this, but Cactus will find one, doesn't get the gun though. We'll be forced to sort of back off here, and the fight being taken. The gun's just too much in the favor of Post here, and that is going to be a second round for them. Once again, starting off very strong here, very commanding, dictating the pace early on. And I think that's what we've been seeing from both these teams, is just very far back defenses or defensive schemes that aren't necessarily working versus these offenses that are just either allowed to change the pace of what the defenders want to do instead of allowing them to match it. And luckily for Post, they've been able to start on attack side in all 3 of these games now. Which has proven to be a huge advantage for them. And now we have a tech pause coming through here with some issues here, so we'll have to see what happens there. Let's look to wait for that. I assume it has to be a DC on Elle, is what I would have to guess based off of chilling in spawn with the knife out here. Beautiful knife, by the way, that fan. Especially when you first take it out and everything. Really cool knife. Love the flames. Originally it was just going to be released in one region, but everybody wanted it. Riot made a great decision there. Chris having a different type of knife out. utility and such. Prime Spectre check. Ooh, the 100 Thieves Classic. I went with the all black. No red at all on the 100 Thieves Classic. A little bit surprising there. And it looks like we are going to start to be ready for this game. Yep. And now with that pause coming through, the knife should get a couple of tags there, I believe. And with some spray throughs dealing quite a bit of damage here, but Cactus is going to be challenged. We'll have a little bit of help from Viper, but not for long. And Mooney going to be forced to back off. And now Viper looking for this sort of backstab kind of play. Almost finds a third one as well. And there's the third one. They're getting completely farmed in vents here. But now the trade's relatively even, an extra number. But again, it's going to be another person that they're walking into unexpectedly. And one by one, the trades go back and forth. And Chris having an opportunity here, still very good for post here regardless. Being able to snag some of these kills. Chris gonna get that audio, gonna be able to sneak off into CT. That's gonna be so big here. Again, it's planted for heaven, so does have time here, but is gonna decide to double back here. And the smoke's gonna come through. Maybe causes some issues here. Chris having a beautiful timing, but can't find the shots, and Mooney will find that kill. Maybe having an opportunity to make it a 1v1, but
spike is diffused.
Make it possible. But despite that, again, Post probably not too worried about that loss of a round here. Their econ's still fine. They went into that with a bunch of Spectres, and a timeout being called now. Maybe it was just, I mean, usually called out by Meech for post often. It's a little bit curious that it is KeltheKelp. I wonder if it's something tech related again, or if it's still some sort of strategy related thing here. We will have to see. It does seem like everyone is connected, I think. Have to see what happens here. And again, a lot of damage done to the economy here for Ithaca, as they did lose 3 guns, almost a 4th one as well. So for them, a little bit of a disaster economically. We'll manage to get 3 guns together, have some light armors here or there. And from the looks of it, it does look like it was a just a tactical pause here. So we'll have to see how that is.
Cover going out.
As we are going to see mid control once again here. More of this kind of B split type stuff. As they look to clear the Killjoy utility early. Try and not let that be too active. And now that's fully cleared out. And they are just going to commit straight onto it, especially with the Raise Rocket here. And a little bit of a ring around the rosy. Killjoy going to go down regardless. And the Raise Rocket not going to do much, but it did create a lot of that space that was needed. Gets that information as Chris finds another kill. Managing to work his way through this, and a beautiful flash coming out here will deter them, but reveal that he is in Hal. But now 2v4. Chris in such a good spot to not get flashed there. Not going all the way through the smoke. Playing this oh so carefully. Does manage to get a lot of damage. Mojo will clean up that kill, and it's all down to Mooney here. He does see the gun barrel, will find the kill.
Is ready.
But Dissident will close out the round. And Post up 3-1 now. And I think the bank a little bit extra broken now here for Ithaca as they sort of like half invested into that round. They did get the 3 rifles and they bought as much as they could to help supplement that, but now because of the loss, because of those down guns, they're in a situation where they're down to lose another round here on this low economy.
Seek them out.
Meanwhile, the economy for post,
Found
able
one.
to build. Nobody towards this B site.
3 for
It's a
3.
little bit questionable, especially with no utility there. Killjoy still having the turret in hand as well. So a little bit
Powerless.
big question there. Does get popped now. And again,
Grenade out.
not going to actually get much value out of that. Flash coming through here from Chris, and it's going to be a beautiful flash that's going to force Killjoy to run off of that angle, and with the better gun, we'll be able to find that kill. We'll know that there's one close here, and Dissident will be able to close that one out, as we kind of have sort of a chaotic round here now, a rush through heaven. KeltheKelp will find another one here. And the Stinger probably not able to do much here. I mean, they do have the Phantom in hand, which maybe gets saved here.
Blocking sight.
But definitely want to get a little bit rid of the Stinger. Gonna dash
Last
through.
player
Looks
standing.
like they are gonna choose to fight and die with these guns. And give over a couple more kills here. And yeah, saving, maybe not super worth it there for Viper. Would have had quite a low money. I mean, I guess would have had the gun, so it would have still been a little bit of value, but it does have a buy for the most part here, like shields. Meanwhile, the bank for post just looking so good right now. 2 people with 6k. Should have buys for quite a bit. Should be able to buy others if needed. By the way things are going, it doesn't look like it'll be needed at all here. There's a little bit of a lurk coming through on the Cypher here, as once again, they look to just take a bunch of control over towards this B side, and Killjoy may not get spotted close here on this angle, and doesn't, and finds 2!
Spikes down B.
I love the adaptation. Saying, hey, you can take my setup, you're not going to expect
Last
me to play
player
ahead of it,
standing.
and now the last player's playing is Kelvin. Instantly taken down. And I mean, wow, things falling apart so fast for Post in that round. It seems like, again, they were going for sort of the same initial play, and this time completely red from Ithaca. And able to make those adaptations, win those fights in mid. The Killjoy playing kind of that little bit of a cheesy spot, kind of ahead of the
Placing swarm grenade.
setup, so that when it got cleared,
Placing swarm grenade.
they weren't expecting Killjoy to play ahead of it, but clever play. Don't know how much that'll work again, but with this Viper's Pit, they can now dedicate a lot towards this B side. As it should
Turret
be
down.
relatively free. They're probably not going to answer that, so they will probably see something more towards mid here. And Mojo gonna find that first early pick. Cactus getting maybe a little too cocky with that peek. And Mojo gets a lot of information of where Sky is as well, and it's going to start to cause the rotate from Omen, but the fast play is coming through now, and while the flash will hold them off, will stall them a little bit, Killjoy is alone on site here looking for the fight, and will go down immediately, and now things looking so good for Post in this situation. Mojo finds that kill, and Mooney does manage to find that first one originally, but still 2v4 situation. Dissident, though, up a little close here, will get taken out, and now, I mean, things are still all set up for Post. It should be their round here based off of things. Will Viper look for the check here, and does actually check and clear Elle there. So kind of beautiful on that for being able to do it, but unfortunately, time is just ticking down. There's really not much that Ithaca can do unless they go immediately right now, and that Cam gets tagged out. That's going to be another kill going over the way of Post, and Chris will close out the round, bring them to 5, and they will manage to retain their guns as well. So a really good job there on post to be able to find that round, to be able to play that post plant, and I mean, once again, it's just determining the pace over and over again. It just doesn't feel like there's a whole lot coming from the defense there. It feels like there's one round where there's something clever, but then it's kind of a one and done strategy, and then after that, they kind of just go back to more of the same. And I don't like that they kind of played 2 in the Viper spit there. Something that was going to be rotated away from.
Poison orb emitted.
And yes, well, sometimes the Viper's Pit does get contested and stuff. It just felt like the more unlikely situation. Meanwhile, Dissident so far pushed up here. Will he push through the smoke here? Thinking about it, smoke does dissipate now. We'll have to move a little bit towards the side here. And meanwhile, Viper finds a kill in mid and make that a second kill as well. As Cactus will find the 3rd kill of that round now. And Dissident gonna have to jump away here. And once again, Post gonna get a little bit stuffed on this initial entry here.
Player standing.
And a 4K coming out from Viper here. Kuhaku doing such a good job for this team, making things possible. 10 kills now, the most in the game right now. And overall, this has probably been the closest start that we've had. Basically just score-wise, things a little bit back and forth. I mean, only a couple rounds at most being strung along together at a time. Still plenty of fight from both of these teams here, so we'll have to see what happens.
Flash.
So Chris is going to look for an early flash out. Will cause an Omen Smoke in a reaction here. Again, Killjoy's playing over towards A now. Oh, the knife getting destroyed isn't going to give that information. And that's going to be so huge here. Oh, and they do see the Viper cross over into B main here, so maybe they take that information and they look towards A, but there will be the Killjoy utility there. Instead, they're going to keep pushing up to mid here. Dissident does find that kill, just 4 HP. Such a dangerous situation. And most importantly, Cactus on this lurk could be so big here. The timing with Kelp will be so important. Kelp not seeing the gun in time is going to get taken out here by Cactus. But meanwhile,
My ult's ready.
Mojo going absolutely crazy with the Guardian here.
Found one.
And that ult, I mean, they did know where Cactus was, so I'm not sure about popping that, but I guess it did slow down their ability to chase a little bit here. And now they should be able to actually get the setup here, sneaking off into Garage, and CT here playing very separately from each other, which is a little bit dangerous to give these ones, especially with the HP that Mojo is sitting on. Mojo trying not to peek, trying to get that flash utility here, and now there should be some sort of audio here, and yeah, with the gunfire they should be aware where Cactus is, and they're both just playing super tucked, making this bomb situation super difficult here.
This is nothing.
And with time ticking
enemy
down,
remaining.
does find one, but again with the bomb tab coming through here, finds the second, but there's just no time. And a good attempt from Cactus, but played beautifully from Post to stall out that time there. And now a 6th round claimed. Again, another, at the very least, even half from Post University. And despite this being more competitive overall, they have dragged themselves to 6. Do still have potentially 9 on the table here. And the money gonna be good enough from Ithaca here, that they will be able to get some of these buys. They will have some money. If anything, the money a little bit low for the side of Post, despite the win. Relatively costly round. And now Dissident alone here in mid. Does get the tag, but immediately will have to run away here. And they should hear the run through sewers. Sky Dog happening. We are going to go fast play here. KO ult pop. Just kind of get rid of any sort of utility, but he's going to get taken down here. And now Dissident will have to pop the ult here. and doesn't actually land onto Mooney, who'll get the running gun out, and kind of disaster for Post. I mean, they get to recover one person back in with that KO res, but Elle gonna get taken down as well, playing over towards Heaven, and an absolute mayhem coming through here, as somehow it's going
Player standing.
pretty okay for Ithaca here, and they will be able to close out that round. Post trying to fight super hard into them there, but dealing with that aggression is Ithaca. And I like the idea of taking the fight to them, especially with that Killjoy ult being in play, but they just weren't able to find anything on the initial entry. Omen living for so long, Jet managing to knock down KO, and then Omen managing to somehow avoid that Raze Rocket to find the kill and to find a way out. It was just too much of a backbreaker here on that round. And Post down to almost no buys here. Should be giving up a 5th round in the half now. And we did see what happened on a 7-5 half in the last game here. And now the Viper's Pit going to be dropped towards A again, so it is going to be sort of a force over towards this mid to B area. Once again, this Omen sitting in the ult with the Viper. Not sure entirely how I feel about that here. We are going to see Killjoy alone on this site. Does manage to find one playing around pillar perfectly here, and meanwhile Dissident going to run through with the Sheriff, and again unable to find anything. But do they know that Mojo's on the site here?
Player standing. Spike down mid.
Do they know where Mojo is? Not knowing at all, and again, Killjoy's just going to push so far forward here. Behind enemy lines completely. But how much does it matter if you slip the net if you're 1v5? Sort of at a point now where everyone's kind of grouped together. Everyone's kind of looking your way now. Mojo managing to find one here. He's going to pop the flash. 5 HP. Does manage to find a second one for free, as the swing was a little slow there from Ithaca.
Last round in the half.
Would have liked to see them swing on the timing with the Omen, so that the kill comes a little bit sooner. Now we're looking at the last round in the half here, as it is going to be a full buy each. Mojo on light armor here. The op in play for Mooney can be so huge here, especially lined up in the right spot here. But the dog's going to dog it out. It's going to force him back. And now they're going to take this so fast here. They're going to look for some flashes early. I would have liked to flash high maybe to come through there instead. Now another flash coming through here. They should have the site now. Again, Mooney having an opportunity with this op. Gonna go for the blind here, but is gonna get pushed out. And does manage to survive still. But a run through from Chris, an absolute madman. But now the aggression may be a little much here. As the kill gets traded out, Cactus finds another. But now we're looking at a 3v3 situation here.
I've got your trail.
And with the Seekers getting popped here, I'll give quite a bit of information of where everybody is. More towards that Heaven side. Nobody on the flank here. And Elle in such a good position. The dog not spotting it out either is going to be so huge for them. Such a big opportunity. The flash not going to hit either. Elle pretty much in the deciding spot in this round here. Finds the first kill. Tries to swing through. Doesn't quite find the second. Kelp having an opportunity versus Killjoy. Gonna find the kill, and Mojo will close out that round.
Switching sides.
And 7-5 lead for Post here as they go into the half. And yeah, it is going to be another pistol run here. Again, Post 5-for-5 on pistols so far. We'll have to see what they can cook up here. Doing so good on these pistols so far. I mean, Dissident has been a monster with the classic in a lot of these rounds. Does have that again here. And it's just going to be a full rush towards A. It looks like Viper wall in place. They are going to take it a little bit slow, but wow, that KO knife should have spotted basically everyone, I think. I think not a single person missing that suppressant is going to cause a lot of rotates here for post. And Dissident will get a little peek over the smoke. We'll be able to see kind of that there's still people here. Especially with Mojo there for the rotate potentially. And Elle is going to go down. A lot of HP traded, sure, but no kills to be found for the side of post. Just the one loss on Elle. And Dissident taking challenge after challenge here. Into so many of them. Cactus gonna find another one onto
Spike
Chris, and
down A.
Dissident should have to drop here as now Kelp is trying to help out. And now they're all gonna jump into the waiting arms of Mojo, who fights two! Tries to make it a third, can't quite do so. And now they know that Kelp's there as well. Kelp maybe just tries to run around here.
30
we'll make
seconds
all
left.
those audio footsteps there, so
Got you.
we'll know.
Spike planted.
And is the CT
Cage
play
triggered.
coming through here? Meanwhile, on site. Wow, a very wonky trip there. Might have to steal that. Holy. But, like to take another look at that trip
Cage
at some point.
triggered.
Meanwhile, the cage on the bomb here. It's just gonna have to bomb at this point. It's gonna be concussed though, so it should get taken down. Yeah, not much of a chance there after the dog comes through. And a timeout being called by Meech here. Probably some sort of a strategical timeout. Again, their first pistol round lost of the series. A 5 for 6. But now with that situation, Ithaca are prepped to tie this up now. And should get the round to tie it up. And another timeout here called tactical timeout. Meech cooking up maybe some sort of a plan. Maybe wanting to go for a force here. But a little bit of banter in the chat going through. And timeout gonna tick down here. Curious to see what posts look to do here. I think it is Meech calling for the force, maybe, or maybe just prepping the next couple rounds of this early half here. And yeah, no forces up so far, so maybe they're just. Maybe it's more of a conversation for the next couple rounds, and Cypher Trip maybe not as unique as I thought it was, but let's cover a long area, kind of in that similar trash can, unfortunately, so it is really easy to kill. Because they kind of just spray out the trash can. It usually does take care of the Cypher Trip. Meanwhile, though, on the actual round going on, Cactus and the rest of Ithaca are pushing up right now. Right into the shorty of Dissident here. Trying to make something happen. Oh, and just that little tiny gap in that situation. Gonna be the difference, but Chris does manage to find one here and manages to stay quite healthy as well. Never mind. Just 2 HP now. As a Molly and a little bit of a tag here. Gonna invest the flash here as well. And no angles really given. Playing back on site here. Mojo does have the Spectre now as well, though. He's trying to fight out here. Does manage to get a little bit of damage off, but it's all gonna come down to Elle, and nothing for post there that round. Just the kill from Chris.
I will take back what is mine.
That being said, they should have buys now. Maybe a couple light armors, but overall, pretty safe into this round. I do have to worry about some Stingers, some Spectres, and the such from Ithaca here coming through, but who knows what kind of plan they have cooked. It looks like it's going to be a mid hit with a Viper lurk here. The Viper wall coming through, kind of being deceptive here, and again, it's just Mojo in mid, and he's kind of hopping around. I kind of know where he is, but this dog should get quite a bit of a spot here, and it did spot quite a few, is the big thing. They didn't have one person go forward to kind of give that deception. Oh, Dissident, the timing going to be so important here. But now the mid hit coming through at the same time, and Viper does manage to find one.
Careful here.
And it does get traded off here, and now the Skydog gonna come through, gonna spot Mojo. Flash is gonna have to come through as well. Kelp, though, there to defend Mojo. As more fighting comes through, Elle finds one. We'll have to drop off here, and again, it's chaos in post. I've been thriving in chaos this series. I've been thriving on the hero plays. Despite that, I've still looked like the more special team. But now, Kelp in sort of a dangerous situation here. We'll have to drop off.
30 seconds left.
Fall back here. With 30 seconds left. The decision not yet quite made, but it does look like it is going to be over towards this B heaven here. And they are going to choose to commit to fight out this way. And now kill for Cactus here. Almost able to find
10 seconds left.
The kill is
last player standing.
Dissident there, but Dissident finally able to clean up that kill. Elle was also just like 1 HP, so if that fight was lost, it would have been pretty much the next bullet to win the round. However, Dissident though, safe hands, holds on to the round, and Post will regain their lead. But this is where it gets a little tricky for Post here, because the buys aren't that great. They invested a lot into that round. They lost 3 rifles, so because of how close it was, they are actually going to be in a pretty bad spot going into this round here. And, yeah, now full rifles on the side of Ithaca here. He's set up towards A here. Should just be greeted by 2, and I don't think the KO knife got any sort of spots there from the looks of it. Maybe got some audio from jumping. Couldn't quite hear. While trying to get away from it. But Chris just going to look for the jump spots and does find some information there. And it's going to come down to Elle with a little bit of a fight and not going to go their way. And meanwhile, Mooney in mid. Looking to do maybe some sort of alert here. But Mojo is way ahead of this smoke.
Cover going out.
And Mojo finds the kill, and that's going to cause Fast A to come through now. Well, they are just going to slow down the pace here, which I'm not sure about that, but Chris has managed to find one. And Dissident, though, finding 2! Finding 3 with that rifle.
One enemy remaining.
One of the few rifles that they had. But it's such a hero play. It puts them in such a good position. And Mojo, though, gonna get taken down here. And just the ghost from Kelp. Maybe tries to go for a gun here, but just does it with the ghost instead. The nerves on this man. The composure. To come in as the sub. To take a fight versus a rifle with a ghost confidently. And to win that. Absolutely incredible.
Yes, this should do.
KeltheKelp.
Oh, this isn't like this goes here.
Coming in when the team needs the
That
round.
goes there.
Now they've gotten a little bit of a lead. They've broken the buys a little bit, but Jet Knife should come out here. Should still give them 4 guns as an option. And KO Knife did get 2 tags there, so it does have a little bit of information.
Get out of my way!
And now, though, Jet Knife's getting topped.
Toxins going up.
Again, no KO Knife on the table. I don't think KO ult is even close yet, so good timing to use these knives.
Time to hunt. Got him.
But, yeah, a little bit of a tag there. Mojo will spot out that there's 2 over, towards mid now, and you should be hearing that quite a bit in
Cage triggered.
main right now. Doesn't feel like they're fully ready to commit to the site here. A lot of noise being made, walking kind of back and forth. Now, peeking back over towards this mid area. As Elle may look to peek for the challenge, is going to just play super tucked here. I do like that idea. Now starting to creep out a little bit. Oh, once again in the box spot. So hard. Gonna have to be checked here, and
seconds left.
they do go 1 for 1. Which will slow down that push as well, but it's just going to be the A hit, actually. As
I've
Chris
got your trail.
will have all the opportunity. Will find 1. Make that a second! Bomb in no man's land. 15 seconds left. But now, I mean, Sky there to retrieve it, but
10 seconds
10
left.
seconds left. They will actually allow the plant to come through here.
Spike planted.
And
One
Chris,
enemy
though,
remaining.
gonna find a third. What a hero play. And Mojo will find the last. Chris gets the defuse. We'll have the ults on the table. In fact, 4, 5 ults on the table for post. As they managed to make the defense work. An incredible play from Chris to find those 2 kills. It just feels like post is playing their hearts out today. Everyone's firing. Everyone's doing their job. Everyone's playing their role to make this work. We're seeing the rewards being reaped now. Getting to double digits. A 3-round lead for them. And another rifle round to get through. Oh, and the Omen one-way gets dropped here. Is going to ruin the positioning for KeltheKelp a little bit here, but it's going to be able to swing out off of that situation. And dueling Cypher trips here. Just going to kind of drop the whole setup in one area. It's a little bit interesting here. As trades start to come through.
Destroyed.
Both trips taken out.
Tripwire destroyed.
Certainly they're prepared for positioning and can't quite find the kills, and all these ults on the table here. Does manage to kill the planter, so that's going to stall out a little bit of time for them. Give them a little bit more situation to work with here, and that fragment's going to be so big here for finding another kill here. And now Dissident going to be
One
peeking
enemy
oh,
remaining.
that the one is back
Last
sight.
player
That's going to come
standing.
down to a 1v1. The blind coming through. Flash should know that Elle is close now based on that information, and Elle is going to get taken down there. And a big play coming out now from Sky. Will keep them in this game here. Again, if they lost that round, it would have broken the bank for Ithaca. But they'll keep themselves in the game. They'll keep this competitive. Thing is, only one of the 5 ults were invested that round for post. Could have been maybe a round where you kind of invested all. You find those kills. You find that round, you break that bank. You could have maybe gotten to 12 here, but now, I mean, they still have the ults on the table for this round, except for that of Dissident. We'll find that opening pick. Oh, but we'll be peaked by many, many more here. Did at least get the orb as compensation, which will put that ult at 4 of 8 already. But now the map's so chaotic. I mean, there's a big push from Mojo, who will hear all this information. Everyone rotating through. They should know that the B hit's coming through, and Mojo has such good timing here. The splurk coming through. The backstab in place.
Spike planted.
There's no idea. Finds 3! Almost finds the 4th, and it's all down to Cactus here on this round. Mojo, a devious lurk there. 28 HP on Cactus. Gonna have to push out, and Chris
One enemy remaining.
unable to find the kill there, but Elle will close out the round. Mojo's effort repaid by the team. Wow, I mean, one of those was like straight up through the smoke. Like the initial aim at Sky, I think one of the bullets went wide, killed someone else along the way, and then the spray transfer over to the Killjoy. But just beautiful from Mojo, finding that value. And now, Bank not the healthiest once again for Ithaca here. They will manage to get 3 rifles here. They don't want to give 12. But again, if they lose this, they're at map point. No money on the table. And Chris's late knife does find the tag onto Viper, but not really anything else. However, Skydog information mid kind of gives away that they're at least not looking for mid control here. And once again, Mojo's going to get this kind of look up here. They do hear the dog coming through towards A, and now, I mean, Chris is just spraying through. Finds one, Dissident finds another. Everything's all falling apart for Ithaca now. Just 3 people alive. The Stinger almost doing the work, but Dissident finds another. And there's just 2 of them. Finally gets a trade back, but I mean, it's 4v2. Sure, the health bar is a little bit low.
Healing over here.
Here. Chris taking down, sure, but Mojo so ready for
enemy
this.
remaining.
Finds the kill.
Hawk out.
Mojo just aware
30
that someone
seconds
could
left.
be watching that. Both sides ready, but it's all down to Mooney, who's just kind of stuck a little in place. No Omen ult here. And certainly, with the money, this has got to be a save, right? I certainly think so, but looks for a fight,
10 seconds
finds the
left.
first one, and now, I mean, 8 seconds left. There's not much you can do. Just gonna save this gun here. Into the next round. Try to keep the money a little bit low for post here. Again, don't have like a whole lot in the bank per se, but
Match
they do
point.
carry over 3 guns here. Will be enough to get them full buys here. Did make that somewhat slightly more expensive, keeping Elle's money a little bit in check. But now, I mean, you're sitting at match point. There's still 4 ults on the table for post. Yet to pop any of those that round. Or even in the last few rounds that they've taken. That's huge, because Distance ult is now on the table as well. And I'm sure they just invested all here in this round. Try and close out this game.
Time to hunt.
But now, a little bit of information towards mid given out. There is a jet. And the blind coming through here. Cactus going to try and like sneak through a little bit here. The timing with Elle is going to be so important.
Seek them out. Bomb buddy out.
And now Seekers are going to get popped as well. They're going to know that people are up close, and Elle finds a kill. Dissident finds another. Ithaca, just 3 people alive. Just 3 more kills for a post victory here. Make that 2 more. Make that 1 last person. Killjoy all alone, trying to find something, and Dissident will find the final kill. Will take the series. As post, an absolute masterclass in this series, playing together, showing what they could. I mean, especially that bind map, but even on split, they figured it out. They played coordinated. They kept their lead. Honestly, great play. Everyone doing their part. Mojo and Dissident, so big on kills in a lot of these games, but Chris having a lot of clutch moments, a lot of important moments. Chris and Elle having that control and bind towards that shower side, doing so much work. The ghost clutch coming out from KeltheKelp. And I mean, just an absolute masterclass coming out here. A beautiful win for post. I believe they moved to 3-1 in NECC off of that. Very good spot for them to pave their way in NECC. That being said, that's going to be the end of the cast. Thank you everyone for having me. Thanks for tuning in. Have a good one.